Hello, welcome to episode 26 of bugmancx Plays on the ZEDCRAFT server, and it looks like I'm caving without any clothes on, but that's not exactly true. Look, I'm inside of my base, and here you can see that we've done quite a bit of work. Things are starting to get there. Let's put some clothes on before I embarrass myself. Look, on the floor here, you can see that I've done a fair bit of work to get all of the stone and all of the bits and pieces picked out from all of the bedrock, and it just needs to be finished off with glass. I've still only done this corner, and I've got a lot more glass to do, but I need to smelt all of that so that I can actually get the job done, and I need to get all of those ink sacs in order to be able to dye it black. The ink sacs on the floor I'm not too worried about. Of course, the ink sacs for the wall, totally different matter. Yeah, so I actually logged on here the other day and found that about 2/3 of my floor had been picked out for me. So thank you, mysterious person who did that. But I was kind of looking forward to doing that myself. But that's okay. It's all right. The job's mostly done. So what else has changed here? Well, if we fly around here and go up this way, whoop, without taking too much damage, you can see that the entranceway has now been opened up a little bit. So the idea is you'll come down the stairs, and I might even shave this off and round it off a little bit more. You'll come around this way, and you'll be able to see all of these little farms like things going on here. There's a smelter array that I'm going to take you down and have a look at in a minute. So you'll come down here, it opens up, and here you'll have access to the gangways. And using the gangway, you can walk up and down and to other bits and areas all the way around the place. And it should be like a bit like the end of the labyrinth in David Bowie's Goblin Castle, or something like that. Anyway, I'm thinking. So yeah, down here I've built a smelter array because I realized that, of course, in order to be able to lay the floor with glass, we need glass. How do we get glass? We smelt sand. So I decided to build the Cubfan 135 smelter. It's got a couple of cool features. One is there's 16 furnaces across here, so it shouldn't take very long at all to smelt stacks upon stacks of stuff. And some other cool features this thing has is you can put it in XP mode or collection mode. Right now, up is collect and down is XP, so right now it's in XP mode. If I put it in collection mode, it'll fire off that little minecart hopper, and it will pick up all the items from these furnaces and drop them off into the chest. But if I put it in XP mode, it means that anything that gets smelted in this furnace will stay in the furnace, and if I ever need to repair my tools or something, as long as this thing's got XP built up in it, I can just come along, remove the item, remove the items, remove the items, and all of the XP stored up in the furnace should go to me. So I can take off my clothes like this, I can hold my pick, and voila, pick repaired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some sand and some fuel and set up this smelter and get it going. Oh, and yeah, I've had a few guests. They seem to be outstaying their welcome. Hey. Especially this guy over here. What an idiot. Seems to have picked up a piece of flesh and fallen into a hole. Well, I think you're stuck there for good, buddy. Maybe I'll even glass you over. So, I'm going to kill this guy because he has just been so loud and annoying. Goodbye. And we just need to rebuild our staircase here. Look how prepared I am. Ready for anything. Oh, look, I'm killing my staircase. There we go. Okay. Hi. We're back. We're here at the smelter. And it's time to put it to work. So, over here, I have pre-filled the fuel hopper thingy, minecart with chest, with a whole bunch of sticks, which I broke down from extra logs, extra planks and all of that. And then I thought, why don't I just go around all of my chests and find all of those annoying bits of excess wood objects that I've crafted and put them in here and use them as fuel. That opens up a bit more of my storage space because, yeah, I was running out already, even with all these shulker boxes, they're all full of stone. So I thought, why not just reduce some of that junk and use it as fuel? Waste not, want not, I say. Want not, clearly. So yes, what do we have to do? We have sand. There's a little bit of sand in here, and then we got 2 more shulker boxes full of sand, and we need to make enough glass to finish off this whole section. But I know that I'm going to need glass in the future anyway, so I'm just going to take as much as I can carry and put that in the items chest. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill it up completely, just because I'm curious to see how well it goes, how well it performs. So we are going to smelt an entire shulker box full of sand. So what do we want? Up for collection mode or down for XP mode? I'd like to give the XP mode a try, but for now we're going to collect. There it goes. Ah, it's busy. Okay, so here we go. Now the entire array should just light up like magic. There it goes. Wow, look at that. And because it's got different things in here, I expect different burning rates, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Oh, look how quickly things are just piling up in these. Now let's see how quickly it actually smelts items. Let's get rid of that. Oh, that's not bad. That's about 16 items in. It seems to have stopped at that point, I guess, because we're waiting for, yeah, there we go, for another return. I would say, yep. Okay, I would say it's about 16 items every 10 seconds or so. I might actually do an off-screen calculation to see exactly how long it takes between runs to pick up those items. So that's good. If we just leave this running for a few minutes, we should have a full chest full of glass, and that excites me. So let's leave it running and see how it goes. So it looks like with 16 furnaces, there's a little bit of a backlog. You can see here that a lot of the sand is collecting in the 2 smelt slot, but that's okay. I mean, if we wanted to make this more efficient, all we have to do is add more furnaces. But I'm quite happy with this right now, and I'm just going to observe it for a while. So here is one little issue already, but I think it's a manageable one. If you don't put enough fuel into the initial fuel chest, as mine was originally just all sticks, they run out really, really, really quickly. And then if the hopper, sorry, I keep calling it a hopper minecart, but it's a chest minecart. It keeps going back and forth and picking up only one new fuel item at a time. And then it drops it all into this one. So at this rate, it would require this furnace to fill up to 64 before it would be able to move on to the next. The solution to that is fairly simple. Stop the array. So, I mean, this one, I want to see if the top one has finished putting items in yet. Yeah, it has too. So I think what that means we can do right now is turn off the smelter. You can keep going. And that should allow the chest in the back here, this one, to fill up with more coal. In fact, we might even... Oh, there's not much in there. It's all in the hopper. I need to get better sources of fuel. I might have to go and visit the blaze farm and get some blaze rods. If I can make sure that that thing is always topped up, then I'll know that this thing will be performing at peak efficiency. Maybe I need to have a fuel indicator as well. Maybe I need to figure out where all of you are coming from. So yeah, I'm generally happy with this. Really pleased that I can actually smelt automagically now. Yay! No more silly smelting up on the surface. Look, what do you want? Alright, so it's problem solved, I think. I have just gone in here and put in all the coal. There were about 12, 15 stacks of coal that I had from digging out this space. So I've broken all that down with a fortune pick, and it was also coal from before, but I had so much of it. That's all full, so let's turn this thing back on. And off it goes. I think this one's empty because it's actually already finished all of its smelting, and the rest should now just finish. So that's problem 1 solved. What about problem 2? Problem number 2. Not villagers, ink. I've been going around the server and looking for an ideal location for a squid farm, and there aren't many. One of the problems with this server is that there are a lot of people who have built a lot of things, and they're all spread out all over the world. And I didn't want an ink farm to come too close to anyone else's base because look at them over there. They just love it. This is prime spawning area. I didn't want an ink farm too close to anyone else's base because you have to clear the water within 128 blocks radius of your player, and I didn't want to have to do that anywhere where anybody could be building or within the local vicinity of their build. So we're some 12,000 blocks away right now, and I happened to find, when I was searching the map, this little elbow of the river, which looks really promising because all of this area, all over here, all of this bit, all up here, and all the way around here, all of that, except for basically where this garden bed is, the vegetable patch, is all river biome. In fact, if you have a look here, river, 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 over here, river, river, river. But it turns out that up here somewhere, oh, still river. Oh, yeah, desert. There's a little bit of desert here, but not too much. Just a few blocks. So I think this is a really good candidate for building a squid farm. We can just dominate this entire area and fill it with spawning locations. I'm going to need a lot of that stuff, sugarcane. And you know what? I don't have any. So it's farm dependencies. It's farm inception. Maybe I need to build a sugarcane farm. I'm face palming in real life right now. What a total mess! I've spent a while going around and mapping out the border of the desert biome. As you can see, this big section here is actually got a desert bit in the middle, which I guess is fair enough because it's in a desert biome and rivers don't tend to make these big lakes. At least they're not river biomes when they do. So the river snakes through this way, around there, and then around this way. It looks like this section here is the biggest area of water, and that might be the best place for the farm at the moment. So what I might try and do is try and figure out how to get this bit to be the best spawning area, and then anywhere else that happens to be within the spawning radius that is a good enough place to set up some of the farm I might do. Like, for example, I could use that section there as well, and this section here, make a couple of squares to make my life easier. It might be okay to do it that way. Maybe I can do one over here as well and put the AFK spot, I don't know, somewhere out here. The maths are that the spawning places have to be 24 blocks away and within 32 blocks for the squid's AI to kick in. So that is a little bit tight, but it should be enough for us to get by. So I'm going to now figure out the best possible area I can use and then see what I can start to build. Oh, and I still need a lot more of this. Well, I've been working hard out here in the desert, and boy, I need a drink, but it's pretty warm, pretty toasty. But yeah, I've made 2 rings here around this perimeter. Look, spawns! That's what we want to see! This is a pretty big ring, actually. The outer ring is the furthest distance in which squid will spawn with their AI intact. In other words, if they spawn out that far out there, then they won't be able to move. And that means they won't be able to fall out of the future spawning columns. The inside ring is the minimum distance at which mobs will spawn away from the player. So in other words, between this ring and me, nothing will spawn here, which is okay because look, it's mostly all just desert. But look, I want to take you around here because I want to show you what all of these markings are. I've got around the edge here and I've painstakingly mapped out the perimeter edge of the desert, which is all of this sandstone layer right here. And these netherrack blocks here, these are all areas outside of this inside spawning area. So in other words, this block here, no squid will spawn, even though these are valid spawning spaces for a squid. So when you come around to this side, you can see no squid spawning here, no squid spawning here. But all of these areas that are filled up with water right now, valid spawning areas for squid. Now, obviously, I need to drain or get rid of all of the water from all of these other sections of the lake. It turns out we never actually used any of this, which is quite funny, I think. But hey, you know, I'm quite happy now with the spawning area that we've got, and I think it's going to work out quite well for us. So the next task is to drain away all of some of this junk that I don't need. I need to figure out how I can get some sponges for that, and then also dig down in the river and make sure that we have dug all of this down to the appropriate Y level, which I can't remember at the moment and need to look up. Look at you! Soon you're going to be powering my ink farm. No, victim of ink farm. Soon you're going to be converted into ink sacks. Here I am clearing out the river, and I used a combination of sand and netherrack because I didn't quite come prepared and didn't have enough sand and needed to make these really small compartments, because if you've ever done sponging before, you'll know that it doesn't work effectively unless you've got a small area to work with, because the water just keeps reforming into source blocks. And as you can also see at the beginning of this time lapse, the rear section of the river there was already cleared, and that's because, like an idiot, I forgot to press the record and only noticed halfway through clearing the river, but that's okay, you can see my progress up the front while I'm making a complete mess. I'm also using a brand new assistant of mine called bugmancx. He's standing up there on a pillar, recording for me in first person, so I have to keep in mind that if he gets attacked by phantoms, then any time-lapse footage I've recorded gets really, really rotten. So that's been a new and interesting way of recording, but it's been fun. Oh my goodness, will you check out this total mess that I have left the riverbed in. I've just ripped it to shreds here, haven't I, as I've had to take all of that water out all the way around the back here, and we still have I've done it again. We still have so much more to go. This back section here we needed to clear out because we don't want any spawns anywhere near us, really. So let's go around this way. And over this side, you'll see that, yeah, I've got all of that section of the river to clear out as well. All of these can be converted into spawnable areas for the farm as well. And then we've got to go all the way out here, 128 blocks radius from the AFK point in all directions, and make sure that all the rest of this river, which flows all the way up there and out that way, is all drained. At least it'll be kind of shallow and easier to manage than this section here. Now, if you saw, I was using a little helper for my time-lapse. Yes, I have a second account, which is now a fully fledged patron. He is Bug Boy. Do you want to meet him? Yeah? He's just here to help me. He's just a regular player on the world, but he can log in with me and go up high, like up there, and do some camera angles for me, which is really, really helpful. So let me just pull out this way so you can see him properly, because he's at a funny angle right now. But there he is, little Bug Boy, holding up a camera for me, doing all the recording that I need to do. Very, very happy with my little assistant. But while it's handy having an assistant, it's not quite the same as how some of the other YouTubers do it. Because this is a Patreon server for ZEDCRAFT, and because there's a rule about no camera accounts, I've had to get a second Minecraft account, and he is now a fully fledged patron of the server. He has his own account. He has no special privileges. He's just a regular player of the game. And his job is just to come along with me wherever I need to go and film wherever I need him to film. So that, quite annoyingly, means that I need to make sure he's protected, need to make sure that he's got armor, a sword, a pick, all of that sort of thing. I've got to build a little platform for him to stand on because I can't put him in spectator mode. So yeah, I've got my work cut out for me. But I think in the long run, he's going to be very handy because he's going to help me film all of those extra angles that will make the episodes that I'm making look a whole lot more cool and fun. And yeah, missed a bit. Look at this guy. He's out here trying to ruin my fun. Go away! Thank you. A little progress update. I have done a fair bit of, here we go, this way, fair bit of digging. This goes all the way down to about Y33 and, oh, excuse me, Y33, and I have, oh, well, why don't we have a look at it from down here? So I have built up about a 5x5 grid of these sugar canes, and these go up to around about, what is it, Y level of 44. Just checking my notes. Y level 44. And if we climb up this ladder and have a look at that, here inside of Y level 44 is these. These are the spawning columns, and they're made up of just water and kelp, and they just go all the way up here to about 62. There we go. So technically, this should be sufficient or allowable spawning space for squid. Now, the true test is going to be, do squid spawn in here? That's the most important thing because, well, right now, quite frankly, I don't know. And I really want to make sure that I test the farm, because if I don't test the farm, well, I don't want to keep building all of these. Why don't we check it out from down here? Excuse me. Let's go back up there. So yeah, as I was saying, I want to make sure that squid will spawn here before I get any further. Wow, that looks like squiggly lines on the right, doesn't it? Freaky looking. Because if squid don't spawn here, then there's really no point building more of this. So what I need to do is wait for the server to quieten down when there are less people online. Maybe, there we go, 0 people would be the best amount of people to be online. And then wait down here, somewhere buried under the earth here, and make sure that squid spawn. The squid should fall out of the water columns into these sugarcane and then fall down there to their deaths ultimately, where they will splat and drop their squid inks all over the ground there, which will eventually be picked up by minecarts. But for the time being, dropping them on the ground is good enough for me because that tells me that the farm's working. The problem is I can't come out here and observe it. I basically have to go down here into this hole that I've made and wait right here. I have to wait right here. So this is my view for now. Maybe I can spot a squid, maybe I can't. And then after a while, just head over here and have a look and see if any ink sacs have fallen down on the ground. But unfortunately, I'm not going to have a chance to test it properly and fully until I have more time and there are less people on. So for right now, I'm going to have to leave you in suspense. Yes, I don't even know if this is going to work or not. So until next episode, hopefully I'll have some answers for you when we get going. I will spend some time in between AFKing here and making sure that it works. And then hopefully, we can get ourselves some ink. Yes! So until then, I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like, please leave a comment and tell me what stupid things I'm doing wrong. And until next time, bye-bye. Ooh.